Uh, I went to go stretch, get some water, and went to the restroom, and then I came back, and I noticed the way the light is reflecting on my big, like, TV monitor I use for games and stuff. In the top of the corner, I thought I saw, like, a bug on it or something. I was like, what the fuck is that bug? And I had to, like, reach up to, like, try to... And it's not bug, it's, like, super dusty up there. I need to dust everything. My whole apartment is too dusty. I need to dust this weekend. I need to straight up dust everywhere. But like it's like the television's so thin that I in my head I'm like, oh, there's no way like a bunch of dust is gonna collect and sit up there. But it's not that thin. I'm just a fucking idiot. I'm just a fucking moron, and there is a bunch of dust up there. I'm like choking myself out on dust. Oh god, okay. It's Fata Morgana time. It's Fata Morgana time. I am going to need some help with recap. Or, I just think there's not a ton to recap. I think. Let me see if I got this. So, we go through the fourth door. We start the fourth door, and there's a girl. There's a white-haired girl. She's getting chased. She's a fucking witch. We're in the, I guess, even a more modern era. Maybe? I don't fucking know. But it's like witch hunting. And they're like, it's a fucking witch. And like, this makes a lot of sense because white-haired girl has been called like a witch or deemed like a witch. Or like a... Oh, not... I said newer era. I meant to say it's the oldest era. Yes. That's the oldest. Yeah, I just came back from... I've got music on my brain. I meant to say not the most modern era. Reverse that. Oldest era. Witch hunting's going on. No. The correction is good because, like I said, I meant to say... It's whatever. This is why I said I needed help. So, she's getting chased, and it's like, oh, burn the witch, burn the witch. And it's like, okay, this all makes sense because white-haired girl has been talked about as being a witch. She feels she's a witch, or we've heard people allude to her calling her a witch and all this thing. It's like, oh, it's a fucking witch, it's a fucking witch. So she's like running. She escapes to like the mansion, the house in Fata Morgana, maybe you could call it. And I don't know if that's how that actually works. Is this mansion the house in Fata Morgana? Who knows? And so I don't know if that's been confirmed or not, but whatever. She hides away in there, and then we see the Mega Man boss, Candleman, and I think his name is Mikkel, and we saw him previously standing in front of like a stained glass window in the mirror universe that we were there, so we got like a glimpse of him before. But now here we go, he's holding a candle, and he's got long flowing hair, and he's like, oh, you don't want to be here, I'm fucking cursed, and this place is cursed, and if you are with me, then the curse will get you and you'll die because that's just what happens. And she's like, well, it's better than being outside where they're gonna chase me and burn me down because I'm a witch or something. I mean, also, you're kind of attractive. I mean, look at your flowing locks. And he's like, oh, but I've got the fucking curse and I've got a candle. And if I touch you, then you die. I've got like death touch or something, which whatever. And she's like, it's fine. We can just not touch each other. No touchling. And he's like, oh, God, fuck. And reluctantly, he's like, oh, fuck, okay, whatever, sure. And then she's doing things around the mansion. She's like, I want to learn how to read a bunch. Oh, are all these books your books? Like, that's cool. I want to learn to read. I'm going to look at the books. And then there was some bit about, like, his family sends him a book every year or something. Unless I fever dream that at some point and I'm mixing that with something else. But I think that was a thing. It was like, my family... cast me away. I don't keep really in touch with them, but they send me a book or something every year. I don't fucking know. So she's like, I really love reading. Oh, and I'm really falling for you. But she doesn't say that out loud, I don't think. But it's like, I'm really getting these feelings for you. And he's like, oh, you can't be getting feelings with me because remember my curse and my death touch. And she's like, but you know, we could just, it's fine. And they do like the thing that you do with the pet, and it's like you tie like a bell around their neck, and so you know where they are. They devise that kind of like system for her, because like if you imagine like like in wait staff when you're in like a kitchen and you work at like a food place, a restaurant is what those are called, and it's like people say like corner or behind you or things like that. Like you got to always be aware so you don't bump into people and spill dishes or drinks or whatever. It's basically like that. They got that. They're afraid that if they like open the door really quickly and then she's on the other side, boom, they knock into each other, death touch. And so they're still falling for each other. She's like, oh, this guy, Candleman, he's so attractive. 1 book a month? Oh, 1 book a month. I thought it was 1 book a year, but that doesn't, how would you get so many books in one a year? That doesn't make sense. So you're right, 1 book a month. So they're doing things. And then I mean, it was basically, we didn't read a ton last time. So basically, I think it just got to the point where it was like, they wanted to get romantic. We were about to have like a romance scene. And he's like wanted to touch her cheek. Like his hand was getting like close to her face or something in the CG. And it was basically the equivalent of like dry humping, because they couldn't do anything, but they both really, really wanted to. So they're like, what's the closest we could get? What's the closest we could get to not actually physically touch each other? And we're just like staring at each other probably really close and like, oh, this curse forbids me from touching you. Oh my God, I just want to touch your cheek with the back of my hand or something, but the curse. And then, I mean, my theory going on is, my current running theory is that they're gonna do it. They're gonna do the deed no matter what, whether that's straight up fucking or not, I don't know. But I think their love, apparently their bond, I think is gonna be too strong. I think we're going for the curse thing. I think she gets curse. And then, like I said, my running theory last time was that, I don't exactly know how I put it, but I assumed this white-haired girl is what we're gonna see as the maid, the capital T, capital M, the maid, and like then whatever the curse is then sets her on this path that we then started kind of seeing slightly as like a third party to everything. And then, like I said, then there's got to be some link to then the maid and all these versions of the white-haired girl that then she mitosis creates or like reproduces by budding, or I don't know. I don't think she's physically having these kids somehow, but she's like splitting parts of her off or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know how weird this game is gonna get. I mean, we've already had some very weird moments, but like that's kind of like my running theory going on, is that this white-haired girl we see in this 4th door is going to be the maid, and fucking she gets cursed, she becomes immortal, she becomes trapped on a certain age. She then travels through these time periods, and she's bound to like the mansion. At some point her hair turns black, I would assume. There's got to be some physical manifestation of the curse so we know that she's cursed, right? You can't have all these things that like, oh, you have to be bound to the mansion and also immortal, because those aren't really easy to see. But do you know what's easy to see? Black hair. So that's my assumption right now at this point. And I think that's the recap. Like I said, I don't think there was a ton going on. I don't think there was a ton going on aside from that. Like I said, I don't think we read a ton. I think it was under 2 hours, right? Let me see. What was the last part? Yeah, it was just under 2 hours. Yeah. Good stuff. Let's read for a bit. Is someone at the door? The flow of time was hazy within the mansion's walls. Okay, so remember, the last thing that happened was they were just about to... They were basically like... Pardon the strong language, but they were basically like air fucking. They were... If that makes sense. Like, they were like... They might as well have done it. They... Honestly, the game cut away from it, but they might have been like making motions or something. I don't know. I don't know what does it for them. But there was a lot of romance going on between them. Even though Candleman at the beginning was just like, fucking, I'm cursed. I turn away people because I'm cursed and I ruin people's lives. The flow of time was hazy within the mansion's walls. They had little way of telling whether it was night or day, preventing them from knowing exactly how much time had passed. Did I update the category yet? I thought I had hit done. Let me see. I'm gonna see that I fucked up. Oh, I hadn't. I had updated behind the scenes. I updated in OBS, but I didn't hit like the done button to then transfer it over to actually. Things happen. The white-haired girl had made a habit of climbing the observation tower every so... Oh, yeah, they went to go check the room. Was it the observation tower that had the little window thing? That was a thing. We saw the window that was then referenced in, like, I guess the first door, seemingly, unless they just reused the same background, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is, like, they were like, oh, they looked at the room with the high window thing. I think that's what this is talking about. The white-haired girl had made a habit of climbing the observation tower every so often to see whether the sun was up, which allowed her to approximate the time of day. Oh, it's not the observation tower. That was a different thing. I didn't read ahead. So they checked out that weird cell thing. I don't know. Consequently, when she heard the knock on the door, she was not aware just how deep the night was outside. That forest and beast alike lay quietly at rest. Oh, everything's coming back to me now that I officially ended the recap. She said her name was Giselle, I believe. Unless it's pronounced some weird way that I'm unfamiliar with. So we got Mikkel and Giselle. We got Mel. We got Nellie. But we got a name, Giselle. I don't know at what point that sticks or what that means for the rest of the white-haired girls' names. Is everyone's name Giselle? I don't know. If my theory is correct, is the maid's name Giselle? Is everyone Giselle? Is everyone Xehanort? Is everyone Sora? I don't know. Maybe. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Because I don't want to keep reading a sentence and then remembering something else. Giselle, Mikkel, Candle. No, I think that's it. Consequently, when she heard the knock on the door, she was not aware just how deep the night was outside. That forest and beast alike lay quietly at rest. Oh right, the stores in the cellar are almost exhausted. It must be this month's delivery. Not thinking it was worth bothering Mikkel over, she made her way out of her chambers and headed for the entrance. Uh-oh, this is gonna be bad. There had only been a single knock, leading her to conclude that, as before, the servant had simply left the box outside the door. It's the perfect trap. So without a second thought, she opened the door. And there she saw a strange, vagrant man standing in the moonlight. His clothes were tattered, his bearded face bony and emaciated. She gasped, shrinking back several paces. The heavy door began to swing shut, but the man forced it open, glaring down at her with unfocused eyes and mumbling. Are you the witch that'll grant people's wishes? It was in that moment that the white-haired girl realized she had been careless. The man had sought out the mansion because he believed the legend of the witch, and he did not seem particularly right of mind either. Perhaps a result of wandering through the forest for several days, or perhaps it was because he was so beaten down that he thought to ask for a witch's help. In a word, he seemed mad. No, there's no witch here. Sure there is, don't you lie to me! I can hear the witch's voice. She led me to this house. I promise you there isn't. Now please, be on your way. Have you any idea how long it took to find this place? How many days I've gone without food or water? Then you're telling me to get lost? I don't know what you want from me. I'm happy to give you a little food, so please. Is there really no witch? There's no witch here. It's nothing but a legend. If she does exist, she doesn't live here. I see. Then that means you're just an ordinary person. Just a person, just a girl. So there ain't a thing you can do. No! Oh my god, that's troubling. Get away from me, what are you doing? Why waste time waiting for you to get me a little grub when I can just take it all? Dirty. I'm starving here, ew. I'm so hungry I could eat human. You're about to commit a grievous sin. Are you not ashamed to act in defiance of God? God? If I believed in God, would I come begging to a witch? I don't fear him, and I sure as hell don't fear people. Who's gonna show up at a house in the middle of nowhere? Who's gonna call me out? Oh man, dude, Candleman's gonna come and death grip him. I don't know how fast acting his curse is. Just imagine just like touching someone and just having the power to kill him. Who's gonna call me out? Who's gonna stop me? No one, that's who. No one's gonna stop me and no one's gonna offer me salvation. Ah, there's a thought. You're a woman, so before I kill you. Oh no. What are you doing? What? There's other people here. The white-haired girl lay pinned on the floor beneath the yelling bandit, pleading for help with her ruby eyes. As soon as Mikhail grasped the situation, he tossed his candlestick aside and leapt for the man. The candlestick gave a sharp clang when it hit the floor. The impact extinguished the flame, bringing the mansion to near perfect darkness. Something glinted in the bandit's hand, and then, without hesitation, he thrust it at Mikhail. No! Mikhail! Ha! As stupid must you be to come at me unarmed. In his hand, the man held a knife, its tip dripping with Mikhail's blood. Red spilled from the gash in his arm, the flow growing heavier with each passing moment. You're the only other person here by the looks of it, eh? Perfect. I'll take you both out. You... What? You don't appear to know whose house you tried to break into. What are you on about? Regret your ignorance to your very last breath. You're messed up in the head, you madman. I stay the hell back. Take one more step and... Hand! I inherited the witch's curse. Let go! Mikhail clutched the man's face in one hand. The man raised his knife to strike back, but... What's happening? The strength drained from his fingers, the knife falling to the floor. The man writhed in Michael's grip. Me face, God, I can't breathe. Leave this place immediately, though you won't get far afflicted with my curse. Got him. Helpless to fight back, nay, helpless to even consider fighting back, the bandit fled from the mansion in terror. In his wake, only the white-haired girl and bleeding Mikhail remained. I just saw a man's life drained from him. His face withering away, sucked completely dry. Didn't doubt him, but, dear God, that was quite disturbing for you, I'm sure. No, not at all. It's my fault anyway, if I hadn't been so careless. Oh, your arm, we need to get that wrapped up. Please, do not touch me. You mustn't touch me. The wound is hardly fatal. It's all my fault, I'm so sorry. No, degree of the blame falls on me for saying nothing. Next time someone comes to the door, let me know. So I may fucking kill them. I'm sorry. Please, you don't need to apologize. Well. Yes? For once, I'm actually proud of myself. Proud that I could use this terrible ability of mine to do something more than just take life. To protect someone I care about. So like I said, please don't apologize. Alright, thank you. Mikhail? I'm glad you're here. I care about you too. Thank you. He shouldn't have to be like, oh, it's part of my blame too. Like, she just opened the door. Never open your door when someone knocks. I'm a firm believer. It's mostly just people trying to sell you something, sell you a new internet service, or trying to get you to join their church. Something like that. Had the flame of Mikhail's candle or served papers. That could be fun. That's a fun experience. You get served some papers. Had the flame of Mikhail's candle not gone out when he threw it to the floor, he would have seen a heartfelt smile on the white-haired girl's face, and she would have seen a flush of red and an awkward smile on Mikhail's normally blank face. He also might have seen a little glimmer on her cheek, where a few drops of his blood had landed, but alas, they had no light. Oh wait, does that curse her if she touches blood? Oh shit, is blood enough? Does she get half cursed? Does she get a different curse? The collapse of their happiness came slowly, gradually. Perhaps it was because she had touched his blood instead of his skin, but the deterioration of the white-haired girl's health crept along at a relaxed pace. Aw, damn. The life was not sucked out of her in the blink of an eye, as it had been from the bandit. She merely grew progressively less and less healthy. Amidst her physical decay, she was bestowed with one blessing. Her beauty remained untouched. But as far as blessings went, surely there were others she could have been granted. Could God have not picked something a little better for her? By the time the two of them realized what was happening, it was already too late. The white-haired girl had grown so weak, she could hardly leave her bed. Yes? Oh, you are there. I am. Thank goodness. I can't see very well anymore. How could this happen? I thought I had saved you, but no, I did the exact opposite. Please, don't talk that way. Or, no, it's her. Please, don't talk that way. You did save me that day. But you're on the cusp of death now, and it's my fault. Because of this curse I bear. How? How could this happen? Why did this have to happen? Again, not trying to victim blame, but she shouldn't have opened the door. She shouldn't have opened it. It's as simple as that. Imagine how much better life would have been if you didn't open the door. Mikkel says, what am I? Why was I given this body? Mikkel, can I, ask you a favor? Go ahead. Stay with me, please. As much as you can, until the very end. I was going to do as much anyway. Thank you. I'm happy, Mikkel. Happier than I have ever been. And I mean that. You didn't just save my life. You saved me. I've been saved, but only me. I wonder how he'll handle things when I'm gone. If only I hadn't opened that door that day. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be leaving him all alone, and we could be happy together for even longer. Oh, what if they do some shit where it's like, they willingly, like, she's like on the cusp of death, so he's able to like give some kind of like immortality power to her or something somehow. Like giving her the curse, but like actually like bestowing like another Kingdom Hearts reference. Like you pass on the Keyblade, you pass on the curse. Maybe he's able to like kill himself and give her the power. And maybe he knew, but she didn't know that he had like immortal powers. And so if he gives like the the witch's power, like he said that he was granted the witch, or took over the witch's power or something, right? I forget what exact word to use there. But what if he's able to pass on to her because the love is so strong? He's like, you're about to die. I don't want to live anymore. Take it. Then we get the maid. Oh, I must be so right. I'm either so right or so close to right. I can feel it. I can feel it. Yes. Would you please hold my hand? I think it's probably safe now. Or they fuse. And I only say that half jokingly. I think it's probably safe now. I will not. I cannot touch you. If I do, I might take what remains of your life. Take your beauty. I'm laughing during a very serious moment in the story. God, I'm ruining it. Take your beauty away and force you to die hideous. I cannot touch you. Oh, we got the weirdness again. I forgot to talk and mention the weirdness. The weird glitchy effect looking thing that I can't tell. It's the thing I wanted to say about the glitchy effect we see on the screen there is that it's so not of the rest of the artistic Like, it stands out because it's... what's the term I'm looking for? It doesn't fit with everything else art-wise, so I can't tell if that's just because I'm reading too much into it, or there is some... Again, I think last stream I said something meta happening, but I only say that in place of a better, like, actual way to describe it. Where it's like, oh, is there, like, another layer to something that's happening? You know what I mean? Because it seems so, like, uncharacteristic of the, like, meshing with the rest of the aesthetic of what's the art and everything. It's so out of place, right? And it's not being explained well. Or yet. Right, exactly. We're currently reading like a medieval fantasy bits and bobs, and then all of a sudden it looks like a computer glitch effect, and I can't tell if that's intentionally supposed to look so jarring and different, or if that's just it's supposed to be unsettling, and then I shouldn't read anything more than that. I wonder a lot. Because the weirdest thing that could happen is the glitchy effects, and then, like, the game, like, zooms out, and we're just reading this story off of, like, a old Windows 98 PC or something. I don't know. Like, it's some weird... It's, like, almost the equivalent of, like, the old tried and true, like, oh, it was all just a dream. It wasn't really happening. This is the fanfic of someone. Someone's writing a fanfiction. And when it turns into a glitchy effect, their computer is just, like, slowly breaking. But this is just a fan fiction written by some teenage girl in her bedroom. Something like that. And the white-haired girl is her self-insert OC. Something like that. And she's just now I can't get my head off that. She's writing this story, and she's fantasizing, like, with her self-insert character all these different romantic situations that she's in, but she always ends up something bad is befalling her, kind of thing, at the end of every story. But she gets to keep trying. I must be so close. I'm sorry I'm laughing and making a bunch of lame jokes that aren't funny. Here we go. Question mark says, and it hurt. On his way back from the washroom several days later, Mikkel heard muffled voices. Got it? Good. He was having trouble making out what they were saying, but he could tell it was several men, and they were outside the front door. Oh god. The fact that he could hear them at all through the heavy door meant they were probably shouting quite loudly. An indescribable sense of uneasiness came over him. Dread. He drew nearer to the door and focused on the voices on the other side. They grew clearer, enough for him to make out what the men were saying. Everything's in place. We're ready to kill this witch now. This is definitely the place. Who's that? That half-dead bandit said she was in this mansion. Oh, he made it back. They should have finished him off. You can't have that guy staying alive and then making it back to people. Just a lot of bad decision-making going on by our characters here. Man. Unfortunate. Listen well, no matter what we find in there, we kill it. Could be a child for all I care. That doesn't change anything. Kill the witch. Kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch. What he heard beyond the door was a group of men shouting for the death of the witch. In that moment, Mikkel regretted his decision to let the bandit go free and not watch over him until the moment of his demise. Yup. He must have made his way down to the village in search of help, where he revealed that he had found what he had found at the mansion. Damn it. But it was too late. Regret would solve nothing. He could neither stop the villagers from raiding the house, nor could he stop the white-haired girl from dying to the effects of his curse. He was helpless to do anything. The gears of his fate had locked him into a path of tragedy and were turning mercilessly onward. The men had begun trying to break down the door with what sounded like a battering ram. While the first strike was not enough to breach the barrier, it was still quite powerful. He was certain it would not hold for long. Mikkel's mind raced. Was there anything he could do about this predicament? How could he escape from the corner he had been backed into? Despite his possessing inhuman powers, he would be powerless against a full mob of adult men. The villagers almost certainly came armed as well. Mikkel? A weak voice came from behind him. Aghast, he spun around to find the white-haired girl stumbling toward him. She breathed heavily, leaning against columns for support. What are you doing out here? You only worsen your condition by exerting yourself. I had a sinking feeling, and I heard noises on my way here. It seems that I have brought all my misfortune upon you. Don't say that. If I hadn't come here, this never would have happened. You never would have been in any danger. Please, Mikkel, hand me over to the men outside. Absolutely not. I will do no such thing. They're here for the witch, aren't they? I'm guessing they're the same people who were chasing me before. The village had a poor harvest this year, I hear. This year, I hear. Like the village in the legend. And they believe it's the witch's curse. But you're not a witch. They need someone to fill the role, though. So please, hand me over, and then escape on your own. I could never. Please, Mikkel. I'm the one who's cursed, not you. And you want me to hand you over? What would I have left then? Nothing. Not a thing. I would have nothing. After so long, I finally found someone who isn't afraid of me, who won't run. I have no interest in a world that would take you away from me, make me live alone once more. To hell with such a world. Mikkel? Would you be willing to die with me? If that's what you wish, then stay with me until the very end. I'm telling you, they're about to fuse. They're gonna fuse into one being. A super being. I probably wanted to hear that just as much as him. No, not probably. I did. I wanted to have someone at my side as much as him. So lonely not having anyone. To live alone, to die alone. To not have anyone watching over you. For no one to even know you're dead. I simply wanted someone to tell me they're here for me. To be there, to hold my hand. How wonderful that would be. A sense of utter relief it would bring would be enough to cast away all the pain. To allow me to accept all our suffering. So please, tell me you'll. Mikkel and the white-haired girl chose to spend their final moments at the top of the observation tower. They could hear the crash of the battering ram against the door, the shouts of the men and their stomping feet. But despite all that, the ray of light shining through the little window was as beautiful as always. The room's air of serenity remained unimpeached. After the long climb to the top, the white-haired girl was terribly out of breath. Mikkel considered several times offering her his hand, but the possibility that doing so might rob her of her last scraps of life stayed his hand. Whoa, that was crunchy. Sounds like they broke down the door. I'm glad we made it up here when we did. I'm so sorry for asking this of you. Don't be. I would have chosen here for my final moments as well. This is the one place in this mansion with any sunlight. The one place I can get a good look at you. Thank you. I'm truly glad that I was able to end up here. That I was able to meet you, and more than anything, that you said you cared about me. Have I managed to become an essential part of your life? Do you even need to ask? I wouldn't be here otherwise. I feel the same way as you. I'm sure of it. The two of us are more similar than you probably care to admit. Can I ask you one more thing? Go on. Would you embrace me? If this is to be the end, if this is to be my last chance, then I don't want it to end without having been able to touch you. Please, don't refuse me this, Mikkel. Just do it, please. I'm ready for something wild to happen. I'm gonna be honest. The game can't keep teasing me with weird shit and then not go through with something weird. I need something weird happening if the game is gonna be acting like this. Just putting it out there. I won't keep you waiting long. Embraced. Thank you. The truth is, I always wanted this. I dreamed of being able to hold you. I dreamed of it too. Thank you. I'm so very... She's still so beautiful. What a cruel joke. Could you not have given us some other miracle? One that would allow us both to survive? Where are you? Where'd you get off to? I can't find her, damn it! Hey, there's some stairs over here. They lead up. Beneath a single ray of light, the white-haired girl lay completely still. Not even a frail sigh escaped her closed lips. She remained as gorgeous as ever. It was as though she had simply fallen asleep in the sunlight. Looking down upon her, Mikhail determined to do one thing. I will not allow anyone to sully this sight. He gave a fleeting glance back at her pristine corpse, then opened the door and stepped through it alone. He would protect that room where she lay. Hey, there's someone up here! So this is where you've been hiding, you infernal witch! Wait, that's not the girl. The raucous sound of their footsteps rang up from below. Shortly thereafter, the men themselves came into view. As he had expected, they were heavily armed. He glowered at the men, then sucked in a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs. I am the witch you seek! I have inherited her curse, and it is I who brings calamity upon you. You hear that? But he's a man or woman, it doesn't matter. Death to anyone who has ties to the witch. Cleanse this earth of all impurity. Kill him, kill him, kill him! Mikhail did not flinch at the sight of the men. He stood unyielding between them and the door. He did not flinch when they raised their weapons against him, nor when they pierced his body. Oh, ooh, brutal. But die and take your curse with you. More noises. I have no need for this life any longer. It's all yours. I am cursed to kill even that which I wish to protect. But at the very least, I can protect one thing before my life is done. Not even one of you will leave this place. Wither and die by my curse. The blood spilling from his skewered body flowed down the stairs, down and down like a little river, soaking the feet of every single man who had stormed the mansion. Oh, it was like a trap. They've activated his trap card. This was the last thing he saw before the final grains of life slipped between his fingers, which brought a faint smile to his lips. Everyone's dead. Cool. Sad. Oh, did she not die? Oh man, tragic. Oh, it's like a Romeo and Juliet. Neither of them had expected what happened next, though, for God has a most twisted sense of humor. Oh my God, they're about to fuse. The white-haired girl had not miraculously passed away without being robbed of her beauty. Why am I still alive? She had rather not passed away at all. Quite cruel of him, was it not? Mikhail? Where have you gone, Mikhail? Mikhail? I smell blood. For had he allowed her to die, she would not have been made to witness the scene that awaited her. No. No. And I'm sure you know just what it was she laid eyes upon in that moment. The ravaged corpse of her beloved, a torrent of blood streaming down the spiral staircase, and the sickening stench it raised. No, why? And his was not the only body. The villagers who had assaulted the mansion had been subjected to his curse, life drained from their withered shells. Why did this? Mikhail, why? Why am I the only one still alive? That is a question I cannot answer either. Perhaps his curse did not affect those he loved. As terribly cruel as that might be, I cannot say. Why? You said we would go together. A world without you has no meaning. Had she actually expended her life there in the room at the top of the tower, perhaps this tale could have had a happy ending. She would have at least been able to have the man she loved at her side until her very last moments upon this earth. But that was not what had transpired. She had survived, been left utterly alone. I felt a profound pity for the miserable girl, so I called out to her. The witch Morgana? The witch Morgana? Morgana? From Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale and Persona 5 Dancing All Night and... Would you like to see him once more? What? I have the power to help you meet him again. Who's there? Where are you? You know what they call this mansion, so who do you suppose remains on these grounds? No way. You're from the legend. You actually exist? Now, I asked you a simple question. Would you like to see him again? The witch grants people's wishes, but at a price. I said I wouldn't ask for her assistance if I met her, but that's all changed, now that I've lost him. If it's truly possible, then yes, I want to see him. Bring him back to life. Regrettably, I cannot directly meddle with the forces of life and death. However, I can guarantee you this. Your reconstruction. Reconstruction? Correct. To ensure that you remain as yourself in future lives, and are not reborn as someone else, your body and mind shall be reconstructed. Oh, we're starting to see it. Okay. To ensure that you remain as yourself. Okay. Alright, we're setting the table. As shall his. If you sincerely wish to reunite with one another, if you genuinely need each other in your lives, you will eventually meet again. All I can promise you is eternal reconstruction. What you make of it is up to you. You want to see him again, don't you? You want to hear his voice again, don't you? You want to feel his hand on your cheek once more, don't you? If that's what you want, then you must remain who you are. If you are simply reborn, that wouldn't be you. So there wouldn't be any point, would there? Me as I am, and he as he is. Make up your mind quickly. I will not wait long. I want to see him again. As you wish, sweet little girl. I shall grant you both eternal reconstruction, and pray with all my heart that you can attain true happiness. Shortly thereafter, the white-haired girl took her own life. She decided she had nothing to gain by remaining in the present time, and that in order to reunite with Mikkel, she needed to make her way to her next life. Oh, she did the old raging loop scenario. Alright, just need to die here. Give me the next loop. And thus the mansion was left bereft of a master, to travel slowly through the ages until someone came along to give it life once more. Okay. Alright. I see. I see. But an unfathomable amount of time has passed, and the two have still yet to reunite. Have they, Master? You know now who you are, do you not? You remember everything now, do you not? You were present in every single era, the reason for which is, as I described in the previous tale, because you yearned to be reunited with someone, but that person never showed up, in any era. And poor sweet you, having no memory of any of that, lived those lives with other men. Is it any surprise misfortune befell those eras then? The door swung closed, but rather than outside, you and the maid were out inside the dull, monochrome room at the top of the observation tower. The awe-inspiring ray of light shone not through the lone window high upon the stone wall. Wrapped in a curious, impenetrable darkness, you both stood alone in the room. The maid wore a gentle but brittlely cold smile as she looked straight at you. It is not your fault misfortune befell you. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were always so kind, so pure of heart. You had boundless trust for others and the goodness of people. You were the very image of all that is right. There's no greater misfortune than someone as pure and beautiful as you, being mercilessly thrown into the grinding gears of tragedy again and again. I still pity you for everything you had to go through. You poor, poor soul. You must be utterly exhausted, constantly betrayed, the man you were waiting for never appearing. After so long, your spirit worn down to the bone, you lost any and all awareness of who you even were. Who were you hoping to find wandering into this illusory mansion, cut off from the real world? You and I are the only ones here. The man you seek is nowhere to be found. Have you still not figured it out? Then allow me to tell you everything. Explain everything! I am the cursed witch, Morgana, who haunts this mansion. And you are the tragic plaything of fate, the white-haired girl named Giselle. Did my calling you master confuse you? No, not really. I mean, me, the reader. Maybe Giselle, the white-haired girl, is confused. Generally confused. If so, then I apologize. My habit of calling the master, or mistress, of the house master is quite deeply ingrained. And yes, that means precisely what you think it does. That I have accepted you as my new master. That I wish for you to remain here. To stay with me. So let us put an end to this journey. Okay, so I gotta pause really quickly here because we were told this was the fourth and final door. And now it's all the climax of the explanation of who we are and where we are and the situations that are happening. But there's no way this game is already almost over. So then you have to think, what's gonna happen? Is it like there's got to be a whole other chunk to this game? We're probably nowhere near. There's no way in hell that we're anywhere near the end. So like I'm thinking like, okay, we go back to that glitchy effect thing. Does she like break containment somehow? Does she go to like, now that she's been explained things, does she somehow travel through other eras or ones that have not yet happened? Maybe does she, I'm like trying to spitball. I'm theory crafting here. What does she do now that she potentially knows and it's been explained to her in what we are now calling the current modern era, if you want to say it? What does she do? What's the game plan for Giselle, aka the white-haired girl, here now? What do we do? We've been told that the guy that we wanted to be with has not showed up and all these things. What do you do? Story of my life, you know what I mean? So anyway, she says, so let us put an end to this journey. Do not worry. There's nothing to fear. We are simply going to step outside the river of time. Nothing unpleasant will ever happen to you again. I will be here with you for all eternity, and I will give you my utmost care. The guy goes space, probably. You will not have to wait for anyone. Forget about him, the man you once sought, and I am sure you shall find happiness. Please, do it for me. I have been waiting for you for so very long. I've wanted nothing more than to see you again. Talk about, dude, remember when I was saying that this game is all about love triangles? We got a new love triangle. We have Mikkel / whatever he reincarnates as, long-haired Candleman, and then Giselle, white-haired girl, and the maid Morgana, aka the maid. We got another triangle going on. It's perfect. There's triangles all out there for people with the eyes to see them. The phrases. But you were continually stolen away from me, despite my sincerest desires to spend my days with you. Which is why I wanted you to recall everything, for surely you would not willingly repeat the same fate, if you knew of all the pain it has caused you to suffer thus far. Spend eternity with me, in the gentle embrace of darkness. The maid extended her hand for you. Her fingers, brushing up against yours, were as cold as ever. But her breath tickled your skin pleasantly, and her sweet words rang in your ears, filling you with warmth. You thought back on your time with her in the mansion. She had, indeed, always treated you with great compassion, and nothing she had said seemed to be a lie. And so you pondered, What were you to do? Don't give me a choice. Don't give me a choice. Don't present choices to me. Don't do it. Game is, don't do it. I knew it was coming. Okay. I mean, immediately right off the bat, my brain says, third option, there's still more to be done, seems like the thing to pick. Accepting her proposition is accepting defeat. Rejecting proposition feels like something's gonna be bad if she's got some witch Morgana powers, you know what I mean? To me, if you say there's still something to be done, you're not outright denying, but you're not accepting that you lose. I'm running through pros and cons in my head. I think I have to pick this. It seems like the most gamey choice there is to this. I'm not intentionally trying to pick a bad choice either. There's a part of me that's like, oh, if you get a bad ending, what's the worst that could happen? But like, this is me genuinely thinking like this would be, I think, what you should do somehow. Unless Morgana gets pissed that you're not still saying there's still more to be done, that's still not accepting. And then maybe you get witched. Witched verb. Past verb. I'm gonna say there's still more to be done. See what happens. Unless I get penalized for not picking, being decisive and committing to one option. That's possible. Something seemed off. Not only with the story she had just told, with her, and with you yourself. Assuming everything she had said was the truth. I'm curious if I picked the right option or not. We got interesting music going here, though. Which or not, my mind is made up. Which will strike you first, I wonder? Regret or the curse? You seem to be doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real, very much so. It is not a legend nor a fairy tale. The witch is me. That's right. It wasn't the white-haired girl who had claimed to be the witch. And that wasn't all. Or do you mean to reclaim your old self no matter the cost? It's the painting man. Remember him? If you do, if you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that, a fabrication. None of your questions had been answered. You still didn't know who the painting was, or what had taken place so long ago that caused the mansion to summon people to it. You didn't even know who you were, for that matter. There was still more to be done. You had to find the truth. You needed to find someone, that much was certain. But was the story the maid had told correct about whom? And if it was, we just gotta spin the chessboard around on this witch. What about her? What about the woman whose name you couldn't say? The woman who had so cheerfully called you master? We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house, so we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? You must say her name. You must take her hand. You must make her smile once again. You mustn't reclaim your old self. What is going on? It's dark. What the hell? Dark. It's dark. It's dark again. It's dark. 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 Constantly. Constantly engulfed in darkness. You threw it away every single time. I must break out of this darkness. I'll give you a world that's not cruel to you. I must escape and take her hand. Because that's the reason. Oh, I've got a wonderful ideal came here. You can curse them with me. I must return. I must reclaim. We can think of new ways to torture them. We'll all be happier if you stay here. Just think about it. Stay here, in this world. You'll be right at home. No, I did the best I could for you, nothing more. This is not where I belong, no matter how much of a world of darkness may suit me. You'll never be able to do it. I must reclaim my true self. I don't like these sound effects, man. Reclaim. Accept the truth. Press L3 and R3 to accept the truth. Oh, I gotta press down. I keep hitting the button. It's not... I forget. This is brilliant. Do you have any idea how terrible a decision that is? Do you have any idea why I fabricated that story? It was all for you. So stay here. Stay right where you are. The darkness suits you better. Remember what someone told you not long ago? That you could handle the stories because they weren't your own? That you were able to bear the tragedies because they happened to others? If that had been your suffering, if the secrets you had kept buried away for so long had come out, you couldn't possibly have endured it. But you're a sharp one. I'm sure you intend to keep those secrets tucked away forever. Do you really think I'm going to let you do that, though? Whatever you try to hide, I'll make sure your beloved hears every last detail. Ah, how foolish can you be? Despite all my encouragement, you still insist on getting your old self back. What do you have to gain from that? Nothing but filthy, ugly tragedy awaits you down this path. Don't get your hopes up, my dear. There's nothing for you there. You have nothing. I'm offering you a place by my side. You should just take it. There's no salvation for you anywhere. None. At all. Anywhere. From anyone. Ever. She has long since lost all grip on reality, and you think there's anything you can do for her now, despite having repeatedly failed to even regain yourself? Ha, ha. Well, I suppose if you're going to be stubborn, as much as I don't want to, I have to place a curse on your soul! Oh, that's cool. That's right. The white-haired girl was never at the mansion. Oh! There's still a story left untold. What? The fourth door was all a lie. What do you mean? It was not some sweet little tragedy. The story you told was pure fantasy. No, that was the truth. That was where it all began. Because of what happened then, you've spent innumerable years lost. Innumerable. I messed that word up. Years lost. Till you showed up here and... What? You reach out grasping for it. You pull yourself in. Your silhouette, which has been hazy until now, begins to take form. Your mind, your consciousness, your heart, your soul, and your body. Who are you? The veil in your mind dissipates. A crack forms in the shell encasing you, then another. The invisible shackles chaining your spirit fall to the floor. What the fuck is going on? Reality fades and atop the indistinct, foggy world around you. Bony fingers appear before your eyes. Long hair. Your voice. No. My voice. My body. My fingers. My arms are frail and my joints weak. But despite my resemblance to the white-haired girl, I am not her. This is who I am. I finally reclaimed myself. You weren't waiting for the white-haired girl. You were waiting for me. And that's exactly why I came here. What? I have no idea what you are talking about. I have always waited for the white-haired... There was never a white-haired girl. There was only... This time. This time I must say her name. She is... Giselle. There is only you. I am... Giselle? No, I'm not Giselle. Shit, she played the Uno reverse card on her. I am a servant of the house, and I am the witch, the cause. You are not a witch. The witch is someone else. Why do you insist that you're the witch? What changed you so much? The shadowy figure in the master bedroom, that was her. A glimpse into her past. I'm sure this is Giselle, but why is she so different? What happened to the spark she used to have? Where did the light she once shone upon the world go? I have to remember. I must remember. This cannot end until I have. This is no longer story. No, what I need to face is my past and her heart. She was not even present in the story she made up. Everything about it had been changed. The past I lived and the wounds she bore were more grounded in harsh reality, not wrapped in a film of fairy tale magic. That was the final tale, and it was all true. That's how it happened. It was a bittersweet story. No, how can you not see this? Yes, it was a beautiful tragedy, but was there even a scrap of humanity in it? Behind the 3 preceding doors, there had been a constant thread of ugliness and conflicting motivations, but there was hardly a trace of that behind the 4th door. The characters felt like nothing more than characters. Is that what you want to turn into? Is that what you want our history to become? Our history? But I don't remember anything at all. You don't remember anything? No, I don't want to. I don't need a past or a future. All I have left inside me is uncertainty. Giselle. No. That is not my name. Please stop trying to confuse me. I'm fine with things the way they are. If it means I don't have to hurt, that's all I want. So please, just let me keep being the maid. Let me keep being a guide, not some foolish girl. So she was like, apparently bad things happen to me. And so to protect myself from the pain and the hurt, I'm gonna concoct this persona, potentially, depending on how steeped she is into it and how much she has convinced herself and her psyche. I didn't mean to say persona for Morgana. Oh my god. Let me keep being a guide, not some foolish girl. Is that what she honestly desires? Does she want to cast aside her past for good? If so, then this is another choice. Again, it seems like picking I won't force her seems like a bad choice here. This is like you gotta face your grief type thing. Not really a spoiler, but just like I mean, I hate to evoke the game necessarily, but is this a poll like the whole Expedition 33 thing, and it's like it's a game about like grief and dealing with grief and overcoming grief and facing grief head on kind of thing? I'm gonna say not remembering is an option. I'm very curious. I don't know if it's a spoiler to ask, but what happens if I pick like the other option so far that I haven't picked? Like the one where I accepted her? Is it like a game over screen? Again, if it's a spoiler to ask, then don't answer, I guess. But like, I'm curious just gameplay wise, if it's like, do I pick a bad choice and it goes, game over? And then it's like, oh shit. Pretty sure they're dead ends. Oh. Alright. Nothing too exciting then there. Okay. No matter what she says, I know I'm right. And if she doesn't reclaim her old self, I'll never get to hear her say my name again. I know I'm being selfish here, but I can't do that. If you're afraid of what you might find, we can remember together. I haven't gotten everything back yet myself, so let's open the real door, together. There are no other doors to open. But there is. One that can only open by our hands because it exists between the two of us. Like a few minutes and then bad end. Oh, okay. So probably not even worth seeing. Trying to pick bad. Like not even worth seeing like pick a bad door on or a bad choice on purpose and then experiencing bad ends. Not a door with physical form, but the door to your heart. Oh, this is actual Kingdom Hearts type stuff going on right here. But the door to your heart. The door to... I grasp her unnaturally cold hand, a hand that long ago once had warmth. If she can't lead the way, then I have to. I must pick up the pieces of our erased history so we both can reclaim ourselves. find the actual truth. No matter what we may uncover, I will not let go of this hand. No, I mustn't let go of it. Take my hand, ride me! Darkness falls over the world around us. The floor upon which we had been standing flickers out of existence, sending us dropping into an endless abyss. This dark pit, this is her door. Her history, her heart. Let's try this one more time. It's not a sweet story by any means. It's a story of betrayal, anger, hatred. We caused each other pain, but that's the road we traveled. And down that road lies all the answers. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Oh, we get a new lower third design. It had been several days since I left the capital, and I could still see it when I closed my eyes. The people lined up on the Grand Pont, awaiting entry, eager to start a new life there, brimming with hope. It was a city people were willing to pay high taxes to live in. If you were a performer, you could get some of those costs shaved down a bit by putting those skills to use. The capital was harsh on those who wanted in, and apathetic about all who left. It was composed of a powerful nobility and clergy, wealthy merchants and bankers, and a large population of poor. And it was a city I had called home for a long time. I didn't know much about where I was heading. It's getting foggy. Looks like it might rain. Maybe we should take a little break? You want to keep going? Oh, alright then. The coachman was frustratingly taciturn. He acted as though he had gotten stuck transporting a prisoner. Though that was hardly a stretch. From his point of view, I was nothing more than a criminal. Even the times he would acknowledge I had said anything, he made no effort to hide the scorn in his eyes. To pretend he didn't regret ever taking this job, and I would just fall silent again. The road was gradually getting narrower. We had long since left the paved city roads behind, and were now traveling along a couple worn-down grooves in the forest. How did I end up here? Why was I being subjected to this? I was done thinking about it. The more I thought on it, the less fair it seemed. The more I remembered, the worse it hurt. All I could do anymore was close my eyes and weather the storm. Deep within the dense woods, a mansion appeared before us like the world fading into view after a dream. It didn't seem to be an especially large house, but it had obviously been constructed with a great deal of care, and it was, thankfully, not standing in ruins. This deep in the forest. The carriage came to a stop, and then the coachman climbed down, signaling with his chin for me to get out. Thank you, very much. You must be tired after such a long journey. This is the mansion I'm looking for, yes? But the driver didn't even acknowledge me, getting back into the carriage and setting off into the forest. He seemed to want to get as far away from here as quickly as possible. He could have said something. Oh well. That was about all I could say anyway. Oh well. Couldn't blame anyone for my being here, or for his wanting to get out. I should get going, I guess. Getting a better look at it, the house's windows were, strangely enough, all shuttered. It was probably dark as pitch inside. It was probably dark as pitch inside. Okay. Does no one live here? But if that's the case, then why was I placed my hand on the front door. Such a big door. What if I couldn't get in? I had no idea what else there was in the area. If the door didn't open... What's that? Pitch is like oil. Oh, okay. If the door didn't open, then I would die out here in the forest. I've come to accept much, but I was not ready to forfeit my life yet. Please open. It's not locked, I guess. The door was heavy, and though it seemed to protest my attempts to enter, it still opened much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Looking in, I got the strangest impression that light was being swallowed up into the mansion's depths. Rather than going inside, it felt as though I was about to step outside the boundaries of this world. When I closed the door, it was so dark I couldn't even tell where I was walking. I wonder if the window's open. Though I managed to fumble my way over to a window, it was tightly shuttered, and the shutters caked with rust. I was probably not getting it open without a fight. Darn, not a hint of light. I couldn't even see my hand waving in front of my face. It felt as though the floor would fall out from under me, and I would sink into eternal darkness if I didn't watch my step. Fighting back that fear, I slowly walked forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There was a door at the end of a long corridor. I pulled it open, and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushed past me. It was too dark to see anything, but I could feel something different present in this area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness gripped me. Hello? Is anyone there? Please don't tell me it's actually abandoned. I suppose I can't know without looking around a bit more. My voice simply disappeared into the void. No response. As I pushed forward through the freezing air, for a split second I spotted a shimmer of light. Squinting my eyes, I was able to make out a large window. Unlike the others, it wasn't shuttered. What do we have here? Drapes? I see a little light beyond. My chances were slim, I imagined, but if there was even a slight possibility of getting some light in here, it was worth a shot. So I pulled open the drapes. The next moment, faint but colorful light shone down on me. It was a stained glass window. From beyond the glass, I could hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. It had finally started, it seemed. The different colors of light blended into a milky white. Dim, but wondrous. It's so pretty. It looks like an angel. Why would someone cover this up? It's beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be... Please do not touch the drapes. Or the windows. Suddenly I heard a voice and I could sense someone else in the room. The man's voice was emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long, he came into view, illuminated by dull orange candlelight. It's fucking Groundhog Day. It's Mikkel. I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but, I did announce myself. The man stood there, practically blending in with the darkness. Had he been there the whole time? He was staring straight at me. His gaze wavered slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. Then again, I could hardly make out any detail at all under the light of a single candle. Is this, your mansion? It is. Thank goodness. I was afraid it was deserted. I suspect you would have preferred it if the house were abandoned. Oh, not at all. I would be scared to death staying in the dark mansion all by myself. I'm sorry. No ill will intended, but I do think it could do with some light. That way you could see where you were walking. I'm sure this room would look splendid illuminated. Not necessary. I make do perfectly well as things are. How can you see when it's so dark? I have an abundance of candles and oil for lamps. I'm not in want of means of creating light. It is not your place to criticize my lifestyle. You dare come into my house and criticize my decor? If you need light, you are free to leave. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a large town. This is like the third time we've heard the line about taking the furniture and trading it for money. I am no longer able to freely return to the city. I cannot go back there. Please, don't chase me out. I see. Do you ask this of me aware of how people refer to this mansion? They say that a witch lives here. Not merely a witch. A cursed witch. If you remain here, you too shall likely suffer your own destruction. You're worried for my well-being? Witch or not, my mind is made up. I was sent to this cursed witch's mansion to atone for my transgressions back in the city. Didn't matter what lived here, I had no choice. Which will strike you first, I wonder? Regret or the curse? You seem to be doing just fine. It's only a tale. The witch is real, very much so. It is not a legend nor a fairy tale. The witch's name was Morgana. Is me. Okay. Okay. Yes. That was our first encounter. It was nothing flowery or dramatic. It was rather laced with suspicion and wariness. We knew nothing about one another, and I had no interest in changing that. But nonetheless, that was where it all began, where my history with her commenced. The woman had jade eyes. Open wide, they glimmered like jewels in the light shining through the stained glass window. She seemed to be at a loss for words. I wasn't lying, per se. The rumors said a witch lived in this house, and I was the only one who filled that criteria. Thus, said rumors could be interpreted to be talking about me. After staring at me dumbfounded for a few moments, the woman suddenly burst into laughter. Oh, wow. Here I was thinking you were kind of scary, and it turns out you're actually quite funny. What? I never would have guessed you were someone to tell such a ridiculous joke with a straight face. I wasn't. You don't look at all like a witch. I mean, it's dark and I can't really see, but you seem to me like a rather handsome man. The word witch. The word witch has broader meaning than just a woman who practices magic. Any unholy person with cursed powers, man or woman, can be considered a witch. I think I get what you're trying to say, but my mental image of a witch is definitely more of a woman. So you're not a witch. That's very unwoke of you, Giselle. All right, broaden your mind. I'm gonna need you to broaden your mind. Open up a dictionary. All right. To tell you the truth, I didn't know who might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. What are you? It's a pleasure to meet you, Master. Master? I was sent here from your old home. I was an Abigail for your mother, but, well, I might have made a little goof. I froze the moment the word left her mouth. Home. It rattled around in my skull, shaking up terrible memories that almost brought me to my knees. Why, after all these years, were they reaching out to me now? And not even sending someone to bring me back, just sending someone? To what end? For what purpose had they shipped an Abigail out to this remote mansion? What was my mother thinking? Was this another one of her attempts to break my curse? What do you mean you made a little goof? Were they saying I made a little goof back in the year 1099? Was goof a word back then? Was that vernacular? Nah, I didn't think so. No one was saying goof back in 1099. My immersion is shattered. My voice came out weak. I did my best not to let it show on my face. It was a teeny tiny mistake. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. What did Mother say about me? Well, it was actually your father who told me to come here. I never really spoke to your mother much. Father sent you? That made even less sense. Why would he have... Did Father even know I was here? No, if he had known, I would have been... Who was this woman? And what was her goal in asking to stay here? There's a few weird anachronisms in this game, as is true in a lot of Japanese games set in the West. Sure. No, I don't really actually care. I'm mostly just... I myself was making a goof about the game using the word goof. And what was her goal in asking to stay here? Well, there you have it. I'll be here for a while. If you need me for anything, do not hesitate to ask. I'm confident I can handle most everyday tasks. Now, where should I begin? Oh, I know. Are you hungry, Master? Food? I can't imagine you eat much, being as skinny as you are. Back up, you don't know me like that. I turned my back on her without responding. No matter what her goal was, she had been sent from that house. There was no way anything good could come of that, and there was no way I could live with someone who has ties to them. I prayed she would take the hint, give up, and leave. Master? And so I kept ignoring her. Master! Master! I ignored. Master! I ignored her. Master, what would you like for supper? Nothing! But failed, spinning back and shouting. Her eyes went wide, and then she gave a sheepish giggle. I glared at her as she fidgeted uncomfortably. Eating is one of the most basic human needs, so if you're hungry, you should really eat. I said I didn't want... What was that sound? Must you ask? That's not a very polite thing to ask a lady, you know. It was like barely audible, but I could hear like a stomach growling. Huh? You know, it was a long trip and all I had to eat on the road was dried fruit. Felt like I was some kind of animal. So, what I'm trying to say is that I'm hungry. That wasn't the sound of her stomach growling, was it? I thought lightning had struck in the distance. And would like some supper. Kitchen is at the far end of the hall on the first floor. There's food in the cellar. Help yourself to any of it. Thank you so much. I honestly feel like I haven't eaten in days and I'm about to die of starvation. Oh, and I shouldn't need any help finding it. I plan on exploring the house anyway. It's rather exciting being in a new place. Damn it. That did not go as planned. Oh well. She can do as she pleases. I'll have nothing to do with it. Oh, Master, are you sure you don't? No. Master? Master? What is it now? My name is Giselle. It's a pleasure to meet you. And your name, Oh, Master, you. I actually left the room that time, making my way back to my chambers. At some point, I would seriously have to chase her out, especially considering she had come from that house. But regardless, I was not terribly fond of her. I'm choking on water. Wait a second. I think water went down the wrong windpipe. The thing. I'm choking on stream. I'm gonna die reading Fata Morgana. I didn't really understand Mikkel, but that was probably because we were... Fuck. Sorry. But that was probably because we were still essentially strangers. Having been sent to the mansion as reparation for my mistakes, I wasn't sure who I might find there, but I was tentatively convinced he wasn't a terrible person. The witch cursed me. The witch is gonna kill me. How dare I drink water the wrong way? He didn't do anything to me except stay away. Mikkel spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had told me to never enter under any circumstances, so we rarely encountered one another in the halls. For that reason, I made an effort to be kind and cheerful on the sporadic occasions we did cross paths. I figured if I kept that up long enough, he would eventually warm up to me, and as new housemates, being able to enjoy our time together was obviously preferable to the alternative. If I did manage to break the ice, I hoped we would be able to do some talking, about the mansion, about him, about me. I just had to keep working at it. This those damn books. Mikkel didn't need me to take care of him. He handled his own day-to-day needs and activities by himself, and in fact, he didn't ask me for anything. An aristocrat who had no use for a servant. Hadn't met anyone like him before. Alright then. I'm really struggling with this water, I'm sorry. I'm gonna clear my throat. I'm gonna mute myself and I'm just gonna give a good noise. I just growled like a wild animal to try to clear my throat. I don't think it worked. I think I just hurt my throat, actually, doing that. That meant about all I could do was clean. I wasn't sure how his room looked, but the rest of the house was, quite frankly, an absolute disaster. The dust was so heavy it was obvious it hadn't been touched in years. Let's get started! It couldn't be healthy to live in these wild conditions, so I set out to clean each room in the house one by one. Oh, I need her to come and dust my place. Talking about what I was talking about earlier. My dusty apartment. Whoops, hit a button. That said, it wasn't going to be an easy task. Not because I was bad at cleaning. In fact, I consider myself quite good at it. but because it was near impossible to find all the dust and grime that needed cleaning under the flickering light of a candle. I can't understand how anyone sane can live in this dark. What's wrong with him? Maybe he's actually a vampire? Yeah, that's it. Oh god, ha ha ha, wouldn't that be something? I can see it now, him sneaking out every night to suck the blood of pretty girls. Priceless. Ah, it means I'm in trouble. Look at me, Miss One-Woman Comedy Show here, yup. Get me outside of the head of Giselle. I don't need to be here. She's a little too quirky for me. She's just a little too quirky. No, it's fine. It's fine. We love a quirky girl. We love a quirky girl on this channel. It's not obnoxious at all. If I am able to get him to warm up to me, though, maybe that'll give me a little more room to make some changes. Like opening some windows. No light, no fresh air. No thank you. Anyway, I set the candlestick down, pulled over a chair to stand on, and started wiping down the shelf. The chair's legs seemed to be uneven as it wobbled slightly beneath me. So many books. I wonder, do they all belong to him? I knew parchment was expensive, so it was rather astonishing seeing this many stacks of it in one place. There were even some books with bulky, extravagantly decorated covers. He does come from an esteemed family. I've spent enough time at his family's home. It was a constant bustle of servants and guests, the exact opposite of what this mansion was like. Why had he left his home? What had he done to be sent all the way out here, to this remote mansion with a less than savory reputation? Need to be careful not to overstep my bounds. I'm a servant now. A servant. But once the thought had crossed my mind, I couldn't get it out. I'd always had a bad tendency to chase my curiosities as soon as they struck, pushing to scratch the itch no matter how much my actions annoyed others. I couldn't do that here, though. I was simply a servant, and if I got on Mikkel's bad side, I risked getting thrown out. I wonder what kind of books he's got in here. So I attempted to distract myself. I grabbed one of the books and attempted to pull it out. What? But the strings binding the parchment must have gotten tangled at the back. Whoa, whoa! Because the books on either side tilted back with it. Ah! And then the entire row came crashing down on top of me. Ow! Oh, for cripe's sake! Fuck my chungus life. She's too quirky, dude. I can't blame fucking Mikkel for being like, God, she's obnoxious. I had fallen off the chair, and a downpour of books was still coming down on me. A mountain of dust with it. Cough, cough. Seriously? What are you doing? What? Suddenly, Mikkel was there, looking down on me from a little ways away. There was, as usual, not much I could read from his expression, but I could hear a vague trace of exasperation in his voice. I was doing some cleaning and... Impressive work. I'm usually better than this. It's just so dark, mistakes should be expected. I really think we should open some windows, Master. Get some light, some air flowing through here. I never asked you to clean anything. Pauline 2.0. I would say, I mean, if you're just talking about personality-wise, I would say fucking Giselle here seems even more, like, overbearing, almost. I mean, Giselle had her moments, right? And, like, Pauline talking to, like, depressed Coconut Head, that, you could tell she was getting on his nerves. But I think Giselle here in this story takes the cake so far. Mikkel says, I never asked you to clean anything. You did this entirely yourself. But there's so much dust. It can't be good for you. I am perfectly healthy. I don't see the problem. Had he even seen himself? No way someone that skinny was perfectly healthy. You look like you have something to say. You can make out my face in this darkness? Oh, you know. I want to be useful and cleaning is about all I can do here, so, you know. He's got that, like, D&D trait, low light vision going on. He's been spending so much time in the dark. I was sensing something else, but alright. He let out a sigh, stepped over toward the pile of books, and then reached his hand down for me. I suddenly felt a pang of embarrassment about the fact that I was still splayed out on the floor, but I raised my hand up to take his, only for him to pick up a book instead. Oh, get clowned on. You could at least help me up. You have legs, he said, casually returning the book to the top shelf. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was a terrible person. Oh, is this... I don't think it's gonna happen this way, but it would be so funny if this story does... Like, he just never reciprocates, like, her feelings towards him or something. Or, he never reciprocates her feelings towards him. And if she catches feelings or something. And then, so then the maid slash Morgana slash Giselle here then concocts this weird story and then, like, tries to, like, lose the memories. And then she's like, oh, he didn't like me. Didn't like me. It's sad. I don't think that's how this is actually going, but I would find it funny if it's just like, it's just a very plain story where she's just a goofball, and then she, like, maybe somewhat is, like, kind of... It would be really lame. I'll say it would be kind of lame if that's how it happened, but in my part of my head wants me to think that that's, like, what this is gearing up for, where it's just, like, so mundane, and then it's just her being like, well... I'm so sad because he didn't like me the way I liked him. Time to do something crazy. Now watch me pull off this crazy move. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was a terrible person. Man. Candleman. Switching perspectives again. So, Master, are all these books yours? Giselle asked, not a trace of remorse visible on her face despite having made a mess of the room she was supposedly trying to clean. I gave a curt nod. Really? That's impressive. Must have been hard work getting them all in here, huh? There's gotta be 100 books here. You could fill a whole carriage at least. It's like you've got your own personal library. She had been pouting only a few moments earlier, but her smile was back in short order. Her jade eyes were like little balls of curiosity, glittering in the faint candlelight. I was not particularly fond of overly expressive, rather overly curious women. Did they not care that they trampled uninvited into other people's personal spaces? Or were they not even aware that their actions were invasive? I averted my gaze from hers. I receive one roughly every month. I see. Wait. She turned back toward the shelves. I presume she understood the implications of what I just said, of the fact that there were nearly 100 tomes here, and I received only one a month. Huh? Giselle fell silent. I couldn't blame her if she thought my circumstances, or my family, or my life bizarre, but I didn't care what she thought of me. In fact, it was to my advantage for her to be uncomfortable. I just needed her to stay quiet and keep her nose out of my business. There's more than I thought. I said not to her, but to myself. I had no reason to count the passage of time anymore. Only the books served as a record of how long I had been here. Ooh, 121. What? There are 121 books. 10 years and 1 month. You were counting? I thought she had just sheepishly gone quiet. What an inscrutable woman. You've been here in the mansion for that long? All by yourself? The truth was, there had been times when I wasn't alone. But Giselle had no need to know that. You already know the answer. A look of pity formed in Giselle's eyes. Enough. I never asked for her sympathy. I'm here by choice. You mean you weren't banished here? No restraint, this woman. No. I came here of my own volition. I didn't care enough to elaborate, though. Picking another book up off the floor, I brushed the dust off its cover. It was a gaudy, decorated tome. That's a very fancy book, isn't it? But apparently, Giselle was unable to take a hint. What's it about? I let out a sigh and opened no page in particular, sticking the book out toward her. She was a servant and a woman. Wow. His disdain is so... Fucking... She was a servant and a woman. There was no way she could read. Let's see here. This land is hardly suitable for cultivation. It can only produce over-sour grapes. I'd probably get more out of it if I tore down the fields and made it into a market. Sounds like a lord's diary. You can read? I was caught slightly off guard. It was rare for a noble woman to be able to read and write, let alone a servant. Was she truly what she claimed to be? I had someone teach me. So, is this book any interesting? It's dull, worthless tripe. I can't imagine why anyone thought it was worth binding. Tough crowd. But it's not very often you get to see a lord's diary. I'm rather curious what kinds of things he griped about. Lord or king, what value was there in another's grumbling? There was no knowledge contained within that book. Just emotions, unsightly scribbles. And there was nothing more exhausting in this world than being emotional. If you want to read it, be my guest. That wasn't my intention, but alright. Once I've got the whole mansion cleaned, I'll read it. I told you, you don't have to clean. Heh, heh. Oh, I've got an idea, Master. If you're interested, maybe we could read together. Did you hear a word I just said? It's dull, worthless tripe. Still, you might see it differently if you read it with someone else. And I'm sure there are some books here you would enjoy, Master. You're wasting your time. He hates her so much. It's like, please, stop. Please. The suspicion and restraint budding between us was trite and insignificant at that point. She was still smiling after all. If I had been able to maintain that distance, then perhaps I wouldn't have ended up hurting her. It had been a little under 2 weeks since I had moved in with Mikkel. Though we lived in the same house, we rarely saw each other. On unlucky days, I wouldn't see him at all. I wasn't sure if he ate in his room or our schedules were simply misaligned, but we never had any meals together. Perhaps he was deliberately avoiding me. That has to be it. I know servant and master don't usually eat at the same table, but even so, he could be a little less obvious about it. Am I really that much of a nuisance? I'm not doing anything inappropriate, am I? Being pleasant and sociable, aren't I? Haven't given him any reason to not like me, I think. That's debatable. I hope. He had never been very enthusiastic about my staying here, and I hadn't been given a choice. I had been sent here by his family. Besides... No, out with the negative thoughts. Gotta stay positive. Yeah, he hasn't tried to chase me out yet. I just haven't broken the ice. Had to stay positive, optimistic, happy thoughts, and be myself. As long as I kept working at it, with enough time, Mikkel would surely come around and not be so distant. I've got a goal, so let's get to work. First, I make supper, then I ask him to have it with me. Gotta be proactive when it comes to reclusive types. Alright, here goes. It's kinda sad. I kinda feel for her. Just sorta. Or here would go, but we're almost out of supplies. Well, so much for that. Cellar was where the non-perishable food was stored. Dried foods, smoked meats, cheeses, and a small scattering of root vegetables. Looking at this makes me feel like a soldier holding down a castle's fortifications. Had Mikkel really gone 10 years on nothing but this? I would have raised the white flag long ago. He said he hadn't left the mansion at all in those 10 years. I assume he at least goes out to get supplies, right? Running out of food is kind of a life or death matter. Can't believe he hasn't set foot outside even once, and... What are you babbling on about? What? Oh no, he overheard me. I assumed you were talking to someone. Huh? Does anyone else live here, Master? I haven't seen anyone. It is just the two of us. Alive, anyway. You mean there are ghosts? Something of the sort. There you go again with the jokes. I'm not a child. You're not going to trick me like that. There are adults who believe in such things. I suppose. But I don't really believe in ghosts or demons or curses or any of that. The church just tries to convince people they're real so they can squeeze more money out of them. Damn, so true. Am I going to have to turn you over to the church, you blasphemer? No, 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 no. I pray every day, honest. I don't particularly care either way. I'm returning to my chambers. What? Already? You didn't, come down for food? I only came down because I heard voices. A moment. Please just wait a second. What? Our stores are almost empty. What do you normally do when you need more food? I'll happily accompany you on a trip to the market. She's like 600 years ahead of her time thinking like that. She's an odd one. Already? That was fast. But there are two of us. I really don't eat that much, do I? In the dim light, it was difficult to make out Mikkel's expression, but I thought I could see a tinge of annoyance on his face. I'll say this again, and I know I'm not, it seems like I'm maybe harping on this, and I don't mean to be or anything, and it's not obviously bad or anything, it's actually somewhat interesting, but it is such, and you know, it is just a story, so it's just a writing style, and it's just, you know, perspective or whatever, but she does seem so plucked out and like so modern in her mannerisms, not even just words necessarily or anything, but the way she's like acting and stuff, it just feels so like, so, almost for lack of a better way of explaining it, like so modern visual novel style of like a young woman, personality type, the way she's acting, the way she talks, like it just seems, it's just so, and again, I say that not saying it's a bad thing or anything or it takes me out of it, it's just so interesting and so, it's so different. It's so different because we spent so much time in the other doors. And again, I'm not going to say those were like period accurate or anything either necessarily. But those seemed so much more like the characters inside of those doors were so, so aligned with the timing and of everything. I don't know. That's the best way I could say it. I think that's intentional to make her feel more familiar or approachable to the reader. Possibly, yeah. So that, yeah, even just on a basic level, like, we feel, we are, that we as the reader are, like, more in line with her. She's relatable. She's hashtag relatable. It's relatable, such a funny word. In the dim light, it was difficult to make out Mikkel's expression, but I thought I could see a tinge of annoyance on his face. Hold your ground, Giselle. You said you wanted to get closer to him. Is that a parsnip? Mikkel was holding a tangled ball of roots. The reason I asked was because the parsnip looked like it was on the verge of total decomposition. See? There's still food. He then handed it to me. Wait, you want to eat that? It's clearly seen better days. You're going to get sick. Or are you telling me you can survive on rotten vegetables? Of course I won't eat it. I just figured you were hardly enough to survive. You were hardy enough to survive. Well, what do you think I am? No, he's definitely a jerk. Or that the resulting diarrhea might reduce your appetite. You're kidding, right? You can't be serious. Anyway, we should bury that outside. Then we can go purchase fresh supplies. I told you, I don't go outside. Then how do you... Huh? A visitor? Who could it be? Perfect timing. You're a servant, make yourself useful and go retrieve the package. The DoorDash is here. If it's not a delivery but a wanderer, chase them off. What? Package? Master? Hold on a second. What are you talking about? He's gone. What kind of delivery is he expecting? Mikkel stood there, unmoving, veiled in shadow. He glanced over at me, then threw his gaze to the front door. At his command, I raised the bar, pulling open the door. The McNuggets. My Macca's is here. After nearly 2 weeks inside, the light from the setting sun almost blinded me. The world went white, my head pounding. After a few moments of intense blinking, my eyes acclimated themselves to the evening sunlight. There was no one outside, only a crate easily large enough to fit a child. Is this the package? Master! I turned back to face Mikhail, but he wouldn't meet my eyes, though it seemed more like he was avoiding looking at the light than at me. He's starting to seem more and more like a vampire. Not that I believe in vampires, of course. Regardless, I pray there's nothing bad in here. It's heavy. Master, could I get some help? Gee, thanks. I'm a servant, admittedly, but this is a lot to ask of just one girl. A little help would sure be nice. Once it's inside, close and bar the door, he said dispassionately, his head still turned toward the darkness. As you wish, Master. Once the door was shut, I found myself sucked back into a world of darkness. It hadn't even been 2 weeks, but the lack of light was beginning to become my normal. The outside world growing farther and farther away. Being holed up in here is definitely not good for me. Should go for a walk sometime. Maybe plant some flowers or vegetables. Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe I can grow that old tangle of roots into some fresh parsnip. What else do we have to plant? It'd be great if there were some flower seeds. What are you doing? Open the box now. As you wish, Master. Oh, there's food inside. In the box was a burlap sack filled with berries, root vegetables, and smoked meats, as well as an assortment of bread, fruits, and wine. Aside from the fruit and bread, everything else was the same as what Mikhail kept in the cellar. And buried beneath the burlap sack was a single book. 1 book a month. He really hasn't gone outside in 10 years. It appears you have begun to grasp the situation. Yeah, but why? This was delivered by someone from your house, Master, wasn't it? A servant, I assume. Why would they leave without saying anything? No one wants to talk to a cursed man. In the past, they would occasionally check in on me, but that hasn't happened recently. They think you're cursed? Ah, right. You don't believe in curses. Then come up with your own explanation. An excuse for them to want to stay away from me. That, for example, I killed someone. Or maybe that I'm insane. I couldn't. Regardless, I'm not normal. Bring the food down to the cellar. The book to the library. You are, of course, free to refuse and run back off into the woods. I'll do it. All right, then you take care of that. Hey. What is it? I just noticed there's something else in here. It's wrapped in cloth. What could it be? I don't even want to say that. I hate that word. I hate that word. I hate it so much. I just noticed there's something else in here. It's wrapped in cloth. What could it be? Oh, a painting. For you to hang up somewhere in the house, I presume? It's so dark I can't see it very well, but I'm sure it's... Also, I just had a thought while I've been reading this. Not like it really does. And, you know, stories, you come to, you know, you appreciate the other earlier doors and you appreciate earlier bits in the story, but then things are revealed. I'm not saying I do necessarily, but something to ruminate as, you know, for, you know, maybe we reconvene. This is like I'm assigning homework for people who listen to this and for myself. But does the realization and the twist, I say, but the reveal, I guess is the word I want to say. The reveal of this Giselle, the maid, the whole situation we got. Does that lessen or lessen the impact or make the other doors less interesting? The stories that we had read leading up. And again, I ask that, maybe it seems almost like spoilery, like maybe there's going to be bigger ties, and there probably is. And this is not me saying like, oh, just cast aside those earlier doors because the stories contained within them might be less, like, I'm just spitballing, I'm just talking out loud where I'm like, it's like with the reveal I imagine you don't want an actual answer. Probably not. No, because like I said, I don't think it completely makes them. I don't think it completely makes them obsolete or anything. This is just an opinion question. This is less of like a spoilery question I'm asking. that I'm putting out into the universe. Again, for takeaway for myself and for people who might be listening to the thought of this. But I'm just like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like it should be a spoiler like thing. But I'm just saying in general, like, just because like the doors were leading up to like at first it was like. See, that's the thing. I assume they're still relevant. I don't think the game would be brazen enough and dumb enough to be like they're not relevant. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know. Maybe I'm just wording the question weird. But just like, I don't know. With the reveal, whatever. I'm not going to be able to word it better. I'm just going to shut my mouth. Less a comment on the story and more a comment on the story structure. Sure. Maybe that's more that closer to what I mean. Because now, again, I'm not saying that they're completely throwing out the relevance of the first 3 doors or anything. But now that we're in this 5th door, which seems to be a retelling or a restructuring of the 4th door, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is a much more... This direct little thing that is going on with Giselle and the, this whole thing just seems to like, I don't even want to say override. I don't even know how I want to be putting this, because I'm also dancing around and making sure I'm not asking a question that then leads to potential spoilery type question. But like, we were rising as we were getting the doors, so going through the doors, we're like tension building, and then it's like we definitely hit a point where that all that paid off and like a thing happened, but then you're like, oh, but then I don't know. The comment was me commenting on a non-spoiler comment. It's tough because I can't ask well without it probably coming across as like a spoilery thing. Okay, so she's talking about the painting for you to hang up, and then he goes, exclamation point. Okay, and he's like, don't touch that. What? Mikkel, who had kept his distance from me until that point, suddenly marched over and ripped the painting from my grasp. Master? His face was twisted into a look I'd never seen him make before. Was it indignation, disgust, hatred, panic? I couldn't tell, but there was more than enough negative pressure to cause me to flinch back. Nope. Is that painting perhaps something important? I talked about this like way earlier, but like when I'm reading something, I hate the stammering I apostrophe, not apostrophe, but the I dash and then a word that begins with I, because when I'm reading it fast, I just always think it's her going I, but you would really say like it is, whatever. It's a small nothing complaint from me. Perhaps something important? A landscape painting. He muttered under his breath, the tension melting away from his face. I was left looking at his usual blank, impenetrable expression, but his eyes were still fixated on the picture, staring at it unblinkingly. Why a landscape painting? Some kind of passive-aggressive message? It's not of anywhere nearby. Did they travel somewhere? Well, it's not that of that girl, so that's an improvement. What's this comment say? Let me see. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, you're telling me I won't have comments in the future on this VOD that are like, I can't believe he didn't solve the thing by now. I'm gonna fight those people. I'm gonna fight the comments. I'm gonna physically fight the words on the YouTube page. Master? Oh, you're still here? Still here? Of course I'm still here. Who do you think you asked to take care of the package? What's with you? Just running over and snatching the painting from me? You scared me. Could you maybe explain yourself? What's so special about that painting? I don't believe that's any of your business. None of my... Of course it is. You ripped it out of my hands like I was some kind of thief. I have a right to know what that was all about. And maybe an apology while you're at it? You told me to open the box, so I did. Then all of a sudden you're angry. We are not equals. Do not mistake yourself for my friend. God, he's so edgy. You have a right to know. You have no such thing. You don't have to be rude. I'll say it again. Leave if you don't like it here. I never asked for you to be here. That was your wish. My wish? Are you out of your mind? I never asked for this. I never wished for it. Who in their right mind would want to be sent to some house in the middle of nowhere? Who would ever want to go through that? No, calm down, Giselle. Can't get angry. You're right. That is what I wanted. But I never wanted to make you mad or for us to argue like this. I just wanted to get to know you better, to get closer to you. I mean, it would make things smoother for the both of us. It would make living together more enjoyable for us. So, good night, I'll catch up with that. Okay, sounds good. You have a good one. Have a nice night. Listen carefully. This is very important for you to understand. Do not try to involve yourself with me. Do not go probing around for information. And if you can't do that, leave. I completely shut out. The glare he was giving me and the standoffish aura he was emanating, were reflected in his tone of voice. Why? Why do you try to push me away like that? It seemed Giselle really didn't know much about me. Despite being sent here from my house, she was unaware of the monthly deliveries, as well as the reason why I lived in the mansion all by myself. Why, though, would they not have told her anything? Why had she been sent here left completely in the dark? Giselle looked up at me, fear and bewilderment in her eyes, though I thought I could see a glint of suspicion beneath it all. Like her true feelings were bubbling to the surface. Everyone had darkness in them and they kept hidden. No one was exactly who they appeared to be. She was undoubtedly thinking, I'm not here because I want to be. I knew from the moment I first saw her that her bubbly, sweet effect was all a facade. Had she thought I was dense enough to not realize? She was no different than anyone else. Also, I should not be one to comment or anything, but that dress she has on is very... I don't want to even say weird looking. It's just... And it's probably, like, completely normal for whatever this time, this time period is and stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fashion expert, but there's something off about it to me, and I don't know what it is. I can't necessarily place it. I mean, there's nothing that bizarre about it or anything. I don't know. What I didn't understand, though, was why she refused to leave no matter how hard I pushed. Pushed. Why did I say it like that? Pushed. What was she hiding beneath that innocent-looking face? What was she thinking? What did she carry on her shoulders? Everyone is hiding something, deceiving those around them. I had to figure out what she really was. May I ask you something? Yes? On the day you arrived, you said you made a teeny tiny mistake while working at my family's house. Tell me about that. What did you do at the Bollinger estate? In that moment, brief though it was, her disposition wavered. Fear, terror? No, perhaps anger. She's making that face. I couldn't tell. Nevertheless, it was abundantly clear that was the subject she had no interest in me breaching, and so she had borne her fangs. The smile she donned now was visibly forced. It's nothing you need concern yourself with, Master. I promise it was an insignificant little thing. Sure, I believe you. Uh-huh. She couldn't say. Why couldn't she tell me? What had she done there? What did this woman know about that house? What did she know about me? What was concealed beneath that smile of hers? She looks pained right now. I am the master of this house and you are a servant, and still you refuse to tell me? Like I said, it's nothing. There's no reason to bother you. With a mere servant's personal blunders, Master. What are you hiding? I'm not hiding anything. Then you should be able to tell me exactly what you did at the Bollinger estate. Like I said, tell me. Tell me! You You won't tell me a thing about yourself, and yet you demand others tell you about themselves? Here you are, practically threatening me, demanding I tell you something I don't want to talk about, and yet you still haven't told me anything about the painting. Oh, so I was right. You do have something to hide. How many times must I repeat myself? We are not equals. I don't care if it's insignificant or something you don't want to talk about. What? I'm ordering you to tell me. A trifling blunder would not get someone sent to live with a cursed man in a house spoken of so unfavorably. Whatever she had done at the Ballender estate, that had something to do with why she was here. If she truly hadn't done anything, then she had nothing, or she had something to gain from this place, or possibly from me. And if that was the case, I had to get her to talk. Make me... Giselle's eyes were open wide. I recognized the look she was giving me. I knew very well what that gaze meant. You're an abomination. It was the same as them. Fear, contempt, revulsion, repulsion. The way she acted, the way she spoke, it was exactly the same. You're no different. I made her uncomfortable. I made her afraid. She thought I was unpleasant. She thought I was despicable. She thought I was an abomination. In a frenzy, I grabbed her by the shoulders, clamping down far more powerfully than I'd meant to. Ow, stop! Her face, contorted in pain, morphed into someone else's. Who was I directing my anger at? Where was this rage being aimed? Who are you calling an abomination? What? Tell me, who? The black fur bubbling up from within me knew no end. The girl, she ridiculed me. She denied my identity with her glare. Couldn't escape from that phantom, that reality. What are... I never called you a... No, get away from me! Get your hands off me! Giselle's scream echoed in the entrance hall, rattling my eardrums. She frantically smacked my arms aside, and then I came back to my senses. She was standing a little ways away, breathing heavily, arms wrapped tight around her body, glowering at me, showing her opposition to my touching her. Enlightening. No. You just, you startled me, that's all. Some servant you are, telling your master not to touch you. Oh right, I have, I'm, allergic to people. It's a very, very unique condition, I hear. I mean, can you believe that? Oh, so this is the origination of, like, that they can't touch each other thing from earlier. It's somewhat interesting to see how alike and different and the little changes in the stories from the fourth and fifth door technically are. And, like, the basis of some of the stuff. I think it's kind of interesting to see. It's interesting. See, you know how some people get all red and itchy when they touch a dog or cat? It's that except for people, so I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I beg your forgiveness. Why don't you speak your mind? What? This is what's going through your mind right now. I have nothing to apologize for. No, that's not... I can somewhat sympathize with your plight. Being made to apologize even though you're hurting. I raised my hand against you first, after all. Then you forgive me? Sympathy does not equate to forgiveness. Now, you take care of that package. I'm heading back to my chambers. What is it? You're not going to make me leave after what I just did? No, I'm not. For it would seem I can make you leave on your own whenever I so please. Damn. Besides, I'd yet to learn what she had done. It'd be exceedingly difficult to get the story from her own mouth, which left me with one option. To write a letter to my mother, as much as the very thought revolted me. Man. Alright, we're gonna call it there. Ping, because I have to actually go attend to something as well. So let's save. Alright, cool. Good stream. Unbeatable was fun. I know that cut sort of maybe technically how you look into it into Fata Morgana time, but I mean, I kind of wanted it. I kind of needed it. I'm gonna head out. There should be streams this weekend, but I'm too tired and lazy to think about what the actual plan is gonna be, and I don't know. I may be busy at certain times throughout the weekend, so kind of tricky. But as always, thanks for watching. apologies if you're watched this and you're like, he was joking too much, especially at the beginning when some serious things were happening. Apologies. I was in a mood. I am in a mood. Happens. But thanks as always for listening and watching. We'll do Fata Morgana again come Tuesday. Is Tuesday the last day of the month? Yeah, it is. Oh, June's almost over. Thanks for watching. As always, take it easy, stay safe, stay well. I should be back at some point this weekend at different points. Playing stuff. Sable potentially. Xenoblade Chronicles potentially. Nier Automata, hopefully. Maybe finishing Nier Automata. I don't know. We got to. It'd be nice to finish that before June. We'll see. Until next stream.